again, thank you all for coming. My name is Joseph Ward,
And I'm Edwin Jones.
and we're going to start this meeting by giving you tips to prepare you for an interview, whether it's a radio interview, a TV interview, or somebody just recording you and they may regurgitate the information through an article. One of the reasons I want to do this is because I host a podcast called the Freedom Train Podcast Series, and I've interviewed in the room so far Miss Nicole Everett, Miss Barbara Joe, and Brian himself, and that all three of those were three of the best interviews that we've had this year. Now, one of the reasons, like I said, I want to do this because I know a lot of times from hosting the podcast myself and listening to interviews, a lot of interviews are not that good. Just to be honest. Some people are, you're excited about, I get a chance to tell my story. And when I get a chance to tell my story, I tell everything else but my story. My first tip would be, if I'm promoting my book, I'm going to talk about my book, and I'm going to talk about it thoroughly. Like, I want you to know everything about this book inside and out. When you just see the book or hear the word "own," I want you to think about my book because I thoroughly gave you a good description of what I'm doing and what I'm bringing to the table, rather than, okay, I'm excited to be on the radio or on TV interview. I'm just going to say first thing comes to my mind because I'm excited. Being prepared, like knowing what you're talking about.
Another key point to me is punctuality. You don't want to waste nobody's time, so you want to be on time. You want to be respectful of the time as well. You don't want to be on CPT. You want to get there on time. I like to get there like 30 minutes to 45 minutes in advance because you never know what's going to happen. Be prepared, get your stuff together, get a drink of water, meet the producers, the guest speaker, or, just mingle with the crew and stuff like that.
Another one is turning off other devices. Make sure you're in a quiet space. And a lot of people may not realize it, but not using your speakerphone or headphones or headsets and things like that when you're giving interviews, there's a lot of feedback.
To piggyback what he said on earlier, sometimes you go into an interview and it's not a good interview, so you want to be engaging, you want to be attentive, and you want to go back and forth with the interviewer. That's easily said and done because what if that's not your personality? What if you're an introvert? Me, this is hard for me standing up and talking to a lot of people because that's not something I do. I'm very low key and I'm very close to myself. But sometimes you have to fake it. Sometimes you have to fake it to make it. If you need tips on how to be more engaged or be more open, watch your favorite celebrities do interviews on TV. People that you admire like Miss Joe or, Joseph, who are more upbeat and more, go-getters and stuff like that. Use that as an example to incorporate that into your interview.
Right. This one I think is a great one. Research the show that you're going on. Know the type of environment that you get yourself into. I was riding down the road with my intern yesterday, and we were listening to 89.9, and they just had a lovely interview about lakes, lake enthusiast. I don't need to call into that show. I'm not talking about lakes. I'm not enthused about lakes. I like water, I like to be clean, I like drinks, but I'm not enthused about lakes. You may get a request for an interview from someone who their platform is totally against what you do or totally the opposite of what you do. You may have this one lifestyle that is set or this lane that you want to stay in, and the people who are bringing you on, they may be heavily into profanity. They may be heavily into talking about things that have nothing to do with your book. You're promoting your book and talking about empowerment of people, and they're on their radio show just degrading and demeaning people, and it's one of those shows where they just ask you all type of questions that are out the way. I'm promoting my book, I'm promoting my products. You guys asking me about if I like pit bulls or something. I have no. So make sure you research it thoroughly, because just because somebody invites you onto their show to do an interview, that may not be your platform, and you want to make sure that you make the best moves to promote yourself.
Also, another tip that stood out to me is you always want to be respectful, and you always want to be courteous to the interviewer or your audience. sometimes you will get into a situation where the interviewer want to talk about something other than your topic, want to deflect the question and say, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about my product. I'm here to talk about my book. You know, you just try to swerve around what they're trying to get you to talk about if it's in a negative way.
Right. Also, if you don't know, just say, I don't know. Last thing you want to do is to try to explain something that you don't know. You're being recorded, and once it goes out, it's out there, and we all know what happens when things get out into the public realm. It can go wrong, it can go right. Somebody can take a sound bite or something. You know, take your time, right? Take your time and give your information. Think about what you're going to say before you say it, and don't just be so quick. This the first thing come to my mind that you said. Like I say, you have to be aware of sound bites. We can scroll through YouTube all day and find sound bites of people who we may like, but after you get to watching them sound bites, you're gonna hate that person because they just taking these things and taking them out of context. So, not just rushing to saying what you want to say, but also making sure that you are. I'm centered. I'm with myself, and if I don't know, I'm going to say I don't know, and I'm not going to allow anybody to pressure me into talking about something that I don't know or I don't need to talk about.
Last big thing, well, for me, is pronunciation and articulation. You want to be articulate, you want to be crisp, you want to have your voice be heard. For me, it might be a little problem because I'm very, very country. So my country seems to come out probably like coming out now. But that's how I talk. I can't help it. But when you in the interview, you want to kind of like tone that down and be more crisp, be articulate, so the audience can hear what you're saying, so your product can be better presented.
Right. That's a question.
You kind of touched on, I didn't get all of what you said about it, and that was being informed of what you're going to talk about. My question then is, for people who don't send you interview questions, is it inappropriate to ask for the interview question?
No, you should. You can ask them what do you want to, because people ask me all the time, what is this interview going to be about? And I usually have specific things that I want to interview them about, because that's what attracted me to them. Ask those questions. You have full right to ask the questions, because you may ask that question and they tell you, well, I want to interview about something that has nothing to do with what you have going on. They just, well, you a man, or you are this person, you're that person, so I want to interview about this. So yeah, ask those questions. Everybody's different. You really never know until you research them what their process is, but just make sure you know enough about yourself and your product that if it's not an interview where they're fully preparing you on their end as to what you're going to be talking about, that you still know what you're going to be talking about. You still know your product, you know your information, you know what you're going to transition to Mr. Brian Keith White, and for what most people. But think about it though. One reason why I invited Brian, because I was thinking, as an author, I'm actually working with Be Easy Graphics. My new logo, I love my new logo. His organization created it. He's helping me increase my social media presence. He's helping me make my brand better, and it's actually working. And so I want to invite him here so more people can know about Be Easy Graphics, and as well, for all of you who came to the meeting who didn't know about Tannen, well, guess what? Now you know. And your job, please, is to spread the word. Let more people in this city and around the surrounding areas know about the Tallahassee Authors Network, the premier authors network, where we get out and help each other become better. So, without further ado, Mr. Brian Keith White Jr.
Thank you, everybody. Desiree is passing out a piece of paper and an ink pen for everyone, because we are going to do some work. But before I start, I definitely want to give some acknowledgments. I'm very grateful to God to be here today. It's an honor to be able to talk about one of my brainchilds. And I'm very excited to share with you all and with the Tallahassee Authors Network. And I especially thank you all for inviting me out and giving me a platform to come here and share this with the community who are looking to grow their business and build their brand online. online with social media and all that it has to offer. And I definitely got to thank my wife, Sierra. Y'all don't understand, like she's been the backbone of everything that I do. She stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning with me, entering names into the raffle. She's been there for me every step of the way, so, and please clap. And I'm very, very honored to be here in front of each one of you all. You all thought that it was important enough to come to hear me talking and see what I have to offer because you believe that it has some value to what you're trying to do. And so I celebrate you here tonight too. So I'll clap for you. All right, so a little bit about me. I'll go to the next slide. I am a military veteran from the south side of Chicago. Other than being a fan of all the mediocre athletic teams, that basically means that I'm no stranger to adversity and life challenges. And I use entrepreneurship to overcome those challenges. And I'm excited to share some of the best practices that I have in order to do that. I'm also a business strategist and social innovator. Basically what that means is I have a very strong passion for connecting businesses to communities, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here today. This is like no fee, no charge to do this, because I just want to help you all out and get you connected to the right resources to grow your organizations. Just a little bit about my background. I have over 12 years of experience in branding, design, public relations, advertising, IT, photography, all kinds of communication. So after spending 5 years in the Air Force as an intelligence analyst, I use some of that technology in order to make marketing easy and affordable for entrepreneurs like us, because not all of us are walking around with $5,000 marketing budgets. So it's my goal to try to find easy and affordable ways to help people grow their business without having to go and run up debts and giving half of their business away to sharks. So that's why I'm here today. I've been responsible for developing and executing strategies for national brands like Fortune 500 companies, all the way down to small businesses and micro enterprises, as well as nonprofits. That's enough about me. I'm going to talk about my workshop. It's called Renovation, and this is, go back one slide. This is an idea, a brainchild of mine that I came up with because I have a theory that just about every business solution you can think of, somebody's already done it. And so we're in a phase in society where you have to take an idea that was already developed and make it better, and try to communicate why your method, why your way is more valuable than others in order to compete in the marketplace. And so it's like you have to re-innovate something that was innovative. For example, when you're cold, you wear a blanket, right? In the home, you just throw a blanket on. Well, someone had the nerve to go renovate a blanket and call it a Snuggie. So now you got a blanket with sleeves, and so you can take it everywhere with you around the house. That's what this whole series is about, and it's evolving into a book, which I am going to be leveraging Tan to help me build it. A book that's going to provide cost-effective methods to start and grow a business for micro enterprises. This is targeted for the little people who get like $50 in their pocket. All right, so on the next slide, what is social media? Let's go ahead and read the definition. Someone read it for me. My mouth's getting dry already.
By definition, social media consists of websites and applications that enable users to create and share content, ideas, media, and to participate in virtual communities and events.
I like that voice.
Oh, I like that voice. Oh, wow, I like that. We need to hire him. Me too.
You got a job,
Maybe I think I'm gonna give Bonzel something. I think he earned like a little,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm gonna give you the spotlight pen here.
Yeah. Well, let him read the rest of them first.
It's also a phone stand, so you can sit and do a Facebook Live video in the morning. It's a stylus, an ink pen, and then a light for when you lost your keys at night. You can kind of look under this.
No, put him to work. Put him to work.
I got a few of those, so thank you, Bonzel. All
Yeah.
right, so yeah, that's good. But what I want to focus on right here is that it's virtual community. Right now, we've got a community in the room. We've got about 60, 50 people here, and we can exchange business cards, we can talk and engage. But what social media does, it gives you the ability to do what we're going to do today, but online, on these applications and websites. So the whole point is not to advertise your business, it's to socialize. It's to exchange your character with other people and understand their characters and how it can add value to your business and how your business can add value to what they're doing. Social media is meant for you to socialize. 90% of those marketers actually use it. So there's only a 2% difference between the ones who say it's important and those that are actually using it. So you know that, hey, this is the best way to grow your business. It opens new channels to share what you think is important in these new communities and build new acquaintances. What acquaintances would be strangers. So everyone in here, we probably don't know everybody's name. You probably haven't shaken the hand of the person next to you yet. But that's what social media allows you to do. All right, some of the greatest benefits that I would say, especially when you're starting a business, is decreased marketing costs. You can boost a post on Facebook for $5 and reach 500 people. And that's important to get that visibility. More importantly, there are ways that you can build your social media presence with only spending a few hours a week, and I'll share that with you a little bit later. But you don't have to spend 8 hours a day on social media just to try to grow your business. There's a more effective way to get it done, and we'll talk about that later on in the workshop. And then if you start small with a small budget, see how it works, see what keywords work, see what focus words work, you can start to develop your marketing plan from there and understand what works and what didn't work and use those lessons to continue building on those campaigns. All right. All right, richer customer experiences. So at its core, people have a better experience once they buy from a brand if we continue to engage with them on social media. All right, so what that means is if someone buys from you and then they're satisfied, they're happy, and you still follow up and say, hey, shout out to Tan for letting me come and speak today. Thank you for booking us for one of our services. They're going to re-engage with us, stay connected, and we can get them into what we call the loyalty loop, where they buy from you once, you stay connected, and then eventually they have another need that they need to meet. And so they'll come back around because you're staying in connection with them. You're staying in communication with them through social media. All right, so that loyalty loop is very, very important. And another great aspect is improved customer insights. You can literally narrow down your target market without paying Nielsen and all these Fortune 500 companies to do the research by using social media. It can tell you what age groups are responding to your ad, gender. It even narrows it down to what devices they use, what income levels they're at, what their interests are. So this can help you with building a marketing plan and a marketing strategy for social media, as well as for other outbound marketing. So those insights are very important to help grow your business, and they can help provide research and the basis for you to be able to build other strategies. So I'm going to give you two very weird acronyms before I jump into what your toolkit should be, okay? All right, the first one is, what'd you say? Did you already know it?
What you see is what you get.
That's right. Anyone ever seen this before?
Yeah.
No.
Wussy Wig.
Wussy Wig.
Wussy Wig. When I first learned about it, this is when I first started doing web design. It was back in 2005. I was working with a guy who, the name of his company was The Computer Guy, right? And he was a computer technician. And I told him I built websites. This was back when websites first started. I think the internet was invented in what, 99? Yeah, something like that. But anyway, this when public websites became popular. And he said, have you ever used a Wussy Wig builder? And I was like, I don't speak German. So I was really confused, but it's exactly what she says. What you see is what you get, all right? That's what people feel, and that's what they believe when they visit social media profiles. They say, hey, look, if this is a professionally branded site, then I believe I'm going to have a professional customer experience.
That's right.
All right? If they have professionally developed content, if it's spelled correctly, if they're using hashtags that of things that I'm looking for, then I believe that I'm going to get the experience that I need. So what you see is what you get is very, I'm going to give Desiree a mug for that, because that is impressive. I didn't think anybody would get that. You're welcome. All right, the next one is show. All right, people want you to put on a show, right? It's not enough to just explain to people what you do. You've got to show it to them. All right, one of the best ways to show it to them is to understand your search engine visibility. Has anyone ever heard of SEO? That guy? Anybody else? So 2, 3? Okay. We got a handful in here. SEO is search engine optimization. All right. That means that in its simplest form, it means that you're using words that people are most likely to search on search engines. All right. Using words that people are most likely to search on search engines. That's what search engine optimization is. And it's a service that a lot of marketers use in order to put those words in your social media content, on your website, everywhere in your digital presence, in order to help you be more visible on search engines, because social media content is highly visible on search engines.
Well,
So what that means is, if you post something controversial, somebody's going to see it at some point on Google, Bing, Yahoo.
Can I shout you out right quick?
Yes.
Okay, so clear example as to what Brian is explaining. When Midtown Arts, also known as Summer Playhouse, did our production of Shuffle Along, I was researching some stuff because I was just putting together stuff for the show. Really wasn't looking for our production necessarily, but nevertheless, I just typed in something about Shuffle Along. I think I may have been researching the actual production from 1923 or something. And I couldn't even get to the information I was looking for because some more Playhouse stuff kept popping up. That was great. I was like, all right. It was our little website page. Social media. All right, Brian. So shout out to Brian
And it does work. And what's strange about that is that wasn't even a service that we used for them. We just built their website and their social media, and we used those keywords related to the old production that brought traffic to the website. And it worked. You showed out 3 shows?
Yes.
Yeah, 3 shows. So it was very effective. Someone else had raised their hand or had a question about SEO.
I was a little confused on the SEA and the SEO you mentioned and the SEV.
Yes. Good
Okay.
question.
Okay.
Simple answer. To understand your search engine visibility, SEV, Google your name.
Okay.
Find out how many pages you take up. If it's even related to you, do you have any competition with people who have a similar name?
Okay.
Right? And that will give you a good gauge of your search engine visibility. I use a grading scale. I do it's a free service that I offer called brand assessments. And we'll basically do that research. And a part of that brand assessment is finding out what your visibility is. And on that assessment, if you go 5 pages, then you're in the yellow. 10 pages, you're green. Less than 1 or less than 5, you're red. So that's where we start to try to build up, and we tell you the importance of having search engine visibility. So we use red light, green light, yellow light. All right? So 5 pages, yellow light, 10 pages, green light, less than 5, you're in the red. So, and again, social media content usually goes about 5 pages, but that's only if you use keywords related to what people are searching.
Yeah.
All right, because if you're just not using keywords, then people are not going to find it. Here's another question to give away a prize. Let's see what I got here. I'll give away another 4-in-1 game. All right, so what's a good way to use keywords in your social media content? What's a good social media technique?
Hashtag.
Hashtag, that's right. Hashtags. Hashtags are highly visible on search engine optimization, or search engine visibility. I got plenty of these. She can have one. Hashtags are, when you search something, hashtags are going to show up first because Facebook, Twitter, Google, Instagram, they all have really deep connections with Google and other search engines. So the hashtags provide filterable content. So when people are searching those keywords, Google will show those hashtags after they show advertisements and after they show the websites that have search engine optimization on them.
No, I was just saying my website is with GoDaddy, and they use a certain search that, because I have more than 10 pages, so I guess they're
there you
doing
go.
okay. But I still don't understand the hashtag. I'm going to have to hire you on that one.
I got you. It's real easy. You just,
That's all right. That's all right. You don't have
Just
to
type the
keep
pound
going.
sign in
I'm
when-
going to hire you later.
I got
Keep
you.
going.
All right, we'll do that. Yeah, go ahead.
If you think of the hashtag, one of my friends put it to me like this: the hashtag for itself is like a separate search engine itself. So if you hashtag, let's say if everybody in here hashtag tan the whole year, so when you hashtag tan, it's gonna connect you to that whole link. So if somebody from around the world was to just so happen to click on hashtag tan, they're gonna get all the information from all of us here who are using the
Okay.
hashtag. So it just track of everybody.
Oh.
Exactly. So it's, and I wish I had an example. Oh, go ahead.
In regards to the hashtags, if you have content already out there, could you add it, go back and add it after the fact, or does it have to?
With the hashtag, yeah, because Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter now allows you to go back and edit it. But it usually takes, search engines sometimes we call it a crawl, where they go across the entire internet, internationally, every 90 days. So they complete that crawl in 90 days, and then they'll update anything new that they found after 3 months. So, to Joe's example, if we put hashtag tan, if everyone tweeted right now, hey, we're at how to build your social media presence, hashtag tan, and someone clicked on it, it will show a list of every post that has hashtag tan, and only that hashtag, all right? So right now, I just created the hashtag renovation, nobody's using that. So if you posted something right now and did hashtag renovation, you would be the first people in that timeline, in those results to use that hashtag.
On Instagram too, it shows how many people are actually using that hashtag.
It shows photos related to it, everything related to that one tag. So these are very, very, very important.
Or how many people that look up that particular word.
I love hashtags. And audience use hashtags to find and filter content that they're looking for very specifically. This is one way to create meaning and value with your audience, is to use those hashtags. So if you're looking for someone who has dry skin, what hashtag do you use?
My skin.
See, he got it now. He's like, oh, there we go. We picked it up.
It could be Facebook, any
Do a self-check. Go ahead.
I'm still stuck in the hashtags. And you use that in Facebook only or Twitter?
No.
All of them. They've all adopted it. There's a hashtag app now. That's how important hashtags are. But I've never used it. I wouldn't use it. But that's just one thing to take up more memory on my phone.
I think I hashtag the first I ever made.
Yeah, but what do you do? You ask me.
Oh, well, basically I'm interested in my books.
Okay, what's the topic of your book?
The topic is young adults, vampires, werewolves. What's that?
Oh yeah, she has lots of.
Yes, you got lots of. So you would use hashtag sci-fi, hashtag vamps, hashtag. I'm serious. This is what teenagers say. So you have to kind of research what teenagers use for these specific topics. Find out if they've got connotations or abbreviations, or you got LOL for laughing out loud. They may have some for vampires and werewolves. So hashtag Twilight.
Yes, that's how it's
The most popular vampire werewolf movie of all time. And book, and movie, yeah, all of that. So that means that if you use that tag, you get on the same timeline with them. With the international selling brand.
That's like I can hashtag.
Oh, it's so much.
Yeah, I know, right? All right.
Make my brain.
So let's keep it moving. The O is for offer, all right? You've got to offer some valuable information to them, okay? It's not just good to put out something general. Say, hey, we're having a meeting today, right? You gotta be specific. Say, hey, come here to learn how to build your social media presence. Tell them the benefit of what they should do when they click on that hashtag, when they click on the links, or when they go to your website or go to your social media page. Tell them why it's valuable. Hey, this is important because it's affordable. It's important because you can save time. It's important because if you were unaware before, we can educate you and inform you. You gotta give them a place to go. All right, so it's so good to have call to actions on your Facebook page, like call us, send us a message, send us an email. But you've got to have a place to capture their information. Okay, so let's say, hey, if we're using the bad credit example, do you want to buy a house with 0 down but don't have the right credit? Click here to learn how you can build the credit. That link takes them where? To the website. Now, let me give you this caveat right here. And this is something not a lot of marketers will tell you. You don't need 5-10 pages for a website. If you can't sell your business off one page, you can't sell it off
That's
5 or 10,
right.
so don't waste your money. Just focus on building that one
One
landing
page.
page is what we call it.
That's it.
Where people will land after they click that link
Right.
and they give you their information and you close the deal after you call them. Alright? That's how you increase your lead to close rate. Alright, you make it as easy and fast and as quick as possible for them to get in contact with you and close the deal. If you give them 5 pages, they're gonna look at everything and say, I don't got time for this.
right.
Go eat lunch and then I'll forget about it in about 2 minutes. Alright, so now that we covered the basics of how to make that presence the most impactful, let's talk about some of the top 5 to put in your toolkit. Alright, the first of which is the obvious. Raise your hand if you have a Facebook page. See, it's the obvious. Alright, so Facebook provides the latest tools and news and best practices in order to engage with people, especially your target market, to achieve your business goals. Alright, now why that's important is because when you create a Facebook page, it allows you to create ads and target people down to their buying habits. Yes, you can target people who are online shoppers. You can target people who are impulse buyers. You can target people who make less than 10,000. You can target people who make more than 100,000. Twitter is a microblogging site, meaning you got 140 characters to impress people. So let's go back and review. What's the best way to do that? Hashtags. That's right. All right. Google Plus builds and cultivates virtual communities. All right. These virtual communities on Google Plus is called circles. This is in the top 3 for a reason. All right. This is in the top 3 because Google is like it's connected to everything. I don't know how else to put it. Google is connected to search engine visibility, is connected to your website, it's connected to everything virtual. So having a Google Plus social media page provides a central hub for all your search engine visibility. All right, so on your phones real quick, we can do it that way, that's faster. I don't have my phone. Somebody's got to do it. This might be a faster way. Type in my company name, capital, it's on your pen, so.
Go to Google.
Yeah, go to Google and type in the company name. It's on the pen that you have in front of you.
What's that, renovation?
BEZGRAPHIX.
I need one more advanced opinion.
Thank you. All right, y'all do that. You see the first part that comes up with the pictures and everything? That's my Google Plus page. That's always going to be the first thing to show up when people Google your name if you have a Google Plus page. Right. So this right here,
Twitter, Facebook.
this is my Google Plus page.
Yeah, I have that.
Yes, this is important. This shows up no matter what the results are over here. Again, you don't even have to have a website, but your Facebook might show up. You see how Facebook is the second link up here? That's the visibility. And then you got Instagram, Twitter. My social media is the first thing to show up. But Google, it shows photos of your actual business. So you can show your business location. You can show you at trade shows. This is very important to have for your business. It's in the top 3 for this reason. Now, I'm gonna give you this caveat, right? In order to have a Google Plus page, you have to have what we call an NAP, all right? N as in November, A as in Alpha, P as in Papa.
Now.
Nap. You gotta have a nap. Take a nap. All right. Now, what NAP stands for is really simple. All right. Name. What's your business name? Address. You got it. Who said that? Yes, ma'am. And phone number. So with the address, a lot of people you're welcome. Don't want to use their personal home address.
I use it. What about the email?
So if you're running a home-based business, you're at a disadvantage, right?
You're in the phone on the box.
And you can't use that. And if you don't want to use your personal cell phone number, you can create a Google phone number for free. Yeah. So look up Google Voice. It'll give you a free phone number that will screen your calls. You press 1 to accept, 2 to decline, set up your own voicemail. All right, screen Google Voice for a free phone number. Now, how do we solve the address information? got a suggestion.
Okay.
Post office box, but this is where it gets tricky. Alright? You cannot use a United States post office box.
Oh, well.
Oh,
You cannot use a P.O. box up here. It will not let you use a P.O. box.
okay.
Oh.
But I told you I'm from Chicago. We hustle. We find ways to run everything. There are no obstacles for us. So I'm gonna give you this trick of the trade. Alright, you ready?
Okay, all right.
Go to UPS, get a post office box there. Use the UPS store address with your box number,
Oh.
and UPS will automatically sort it into your box.
Oh, the trick to everything.
That's right. It's the trick to
Yeah.
everything. So remember that. Go to UPS, get a post office
Well, I
box.
don't have that.
Use the UPS address as your address for Google, but add your box number as the suite or something. But if the UPS store is in the suite, you just say suite 8, number 24. Fine. Now, I'm gonna give you this caveat too. I'm sorry, there's so much gold coming out. Bear with me. All right. If you don't have a website yet, at least go buy the domain name. All right. The reason is because people are pirating domain names. All right. I have a client who has had the domain name clickfactor.com. Right. Real simple. She helps build websites that work. Where people click on the button. So anyway. She bought that domain, it just happened to expire, right? So it was out back available to the public. Somebody bought it the next day, and when she went to find it, they were trying to sell it to her for $29,000.
Whoa,
$29,000.
whoa.
Yes. Now, the reason why they do that is because they know that it's free domain. You can buy it for $10 and sell it for $800.
Wow.
But the tricky part is these pirates will go and search public record in order to guess what your domain name is going to be.
Oh, wow.
So they'll go to Florida sunbiz.org, search a business name, and buy the domain name before they even have their website, and then sell it up. So if you don't have your domain name yet, I do sell those as well for $10. It's on the side though, so that's important. And then you can use that in your Google Plus page, and it can link to an under construction page. GoDaddy will build that for you for free. I don't know if y'all seen the Super Bowl commercial of JohnMalkovich.com, where the actor John Malkovich, someone bought his domain name, and he was like, "I didn't give me my name back." It's very frustrating, and I had a client that had a website. I built it for him. It was an e-commerce site, and the domain name expired, and someone bought it, and they were trying to sell it back to him for $800. So his website is built. All the files are still over here in this empty space, right? But he didn't have a name for it, so it wasn't going anywhere. That's literally like ripping somebody's face off. So we had to buy a whole new domain name for him and then link it back to that space, and it's literally like sewing. The technical process is ridiculous. And he was going to Essence Festival too, and it was right before that happened. I felt so bad. I'm like, I wish I could help you, but we need the domain name. So the sooner you start, the better. So if you don't have any of these 5, get them. The sooner, the better, because the content is highly visible on search engines. So the more you put out there, the easier it's going to be to find you. So if you start putting it out there today, then a month from now, you're going to start seeing your name in search results. So the sooner you start, the better. All right, the next one is your competition is already in the game. So if you're not on any of those 5, you're already behind the curve. We got to catch up. All right. The next one is be consistent. Be consistent. If you're going to do a Facebook Live video on Mondays, do it every Monday at the same time. Use the same hashtags. Use the same captions. Be consistent. Give people something to look forward to. That's what that's about. All right. Use the same imagery, same colors, the same logos. Do some contests, some trivia, make it engaging, do a live seminar, a Q&A. Hey, do you want to know more about what I do? Do some workshops, or just have a conversation with another professional. Take away. This is why creating meaningful content is important, all right?
That's right.
The whole promotion I did for this was a test, right? I tagged other people in it. This event reached 64,000 people.
Wow,
39 shares.
wow,
We had 200 people interested and actually 60 RSVP.
wow.
And all I did was put the link out there and I posted some freebies in the group. Everybody else shared it. I didn't have to share it. I didn't have to post about it every day.
Okay.
In fact, how long did we know about it? Like 2 or 3 months?
Yeah.
I didn't start posting until 2 weeks out.
Oh, okay.
So it's about the content, and that's
Yes,
gonna be
right.
one of the key takeaways, and we'll get to it, I promise.
Okay.
All right, be responsive, all right? Be responsive is also important. If someone comments on your post, answer the comment, respond back, say
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes.
If you ignore it, that's the difference between making a sale and losing it, because
Right.
they may be ready to engage with you and have a conversation,
Right.
but if you wait too long, I've got 9 children. One might come up to me and say, hey, Daddy, I just cut myself or something. I've got to go tend to that. I'm not thinking about that comment.
Right.
I may not see that notification until 11 o'clock at night.
But if you're an every Monday person,
Yes.
Monday too long to make a comment, if you're only on every Monday or you're
That's how I
only-
am. I'm not on
Well,
every day.
So what I would do in that case is communicate that.
Yeah, uh-huh.
You have to put it out there on your page and say, hey, look, on this page, catch us every Monday. As you put in the caption, hey, here's a excerpt from chapter 2 about the vamp who falls in love with the werewolf. I'm making stuff up, but that might be an idea we could talk about. But here's a great excerpt, and it causes all this drama for their families. It's like a Romeo and Juliet, but with vampires and werewolves, right? Check it out. Let me know what you think. If you like it, click here, right? And then you start the video, and you get somebody like Von Zill to read it, right? Have him read the whole story, act it out, do a whole 60-second monologue. That's going to drive traffic everywhere, especially if you use hashtags for teens and they're hearing you like, oh my gosh, this is a great story. I've got to go check it out. I want to read more. That's what Instagram is about. That's how you capture those people, because we don't have time anymore to sit and read paragraphs of text. You've got to catch us with a video, a picture of some food that looks good, that makes me hungry. You've got to capture us with the imagery of what you're trying to capture, because what's the quote? A picture speaks 1,000 words?
Pictures worth 1,000 words.
That's what Instagram is. When you get a new follower, check out their page. Don't follow back instantly. Trust me, I learned my lesson.
Don't do what?
Don't follow back instantly.
On Instagram.
Yeah, some of them might be scams. Some of them might want you to follow back just so they can get connected with you.
Oh,
Yeah. And then
Okay.
also, if you instantly follow back, it might be someone who's posting like adult content.
oh, make me
Yes,
sick.
and other things. And other people, for example, on Twitter, if you follow someone on Twitter, Twitter usually compiles a list and says, hey, Dr. Shotwell just followed such and such, join her. You don't want to have that notification go out to people that you followed, Kim Kardashian. No shade to them, but I'm just saying, if they're not an adequate representation of your brand that adds value, you don't need to be connected with them. Okay? So don't follow back. Go check out their page, see what they're doing. Look at their content. It takes like 5 seconds. And if you see something that is interesting, that adds value to what you're doing, follow back, send them a thank you message.
Okay,
You got a new connection.
Okay.
All right? That's the part of socializing. All right? And then if it's an influencer, let me give you that caveat. If it's an influencer, someone who has more than 50,000 followers, send them a message, especially if they're in your industry or has something that is in your value. It's easy for Joe because he's got a radio station, so everybody wants to be on radio. You know what I mean? So he said, hey, I love what you're doing. I would love to get you on the radio. But on the back end, this guy's got 50,000 followers, so him going on a radio station is going to add value to what I'm doing. So that's good. And then lastly, take advantage of social media business services. This is the advertising services, the insights. Use those to the fullest. Get familiar with them, right? You may not understand it all yet, but they give you tours and kind of explains it with tooltips. Understand those business tools so that you can continue to grow your business when you start to use them. All right, now let's review some key takeaways, and then we'll jump into the last few topics. All right, content is key, right? It's not about how often you post. Posting does not equal increased engagement.
that's right.
All right?
Okay.
So we hit on that. All right?
Yes.
Posting meaningful content is what increases user engagement. If you connect with what they value, buying a new home,
That's right.
You gotta improve your credit,
Okay.
right? You've gotta put out what they want and then tell them how to get it, that you've got the way to get it. All right. Hashtags is the best way to filter that content. All right, takeaway 2, bigger is better. So that answers your question. The size of the following is a better indicator of engagement, not how many times you post. So if you get engagement on, your profile page and you get so many people to follow, that's probably because you have 5,000 friends on your personal profile. But if your Facebook page only has 200, you're not going to get the same level. You've got to scale it up. And that's when you might want to do some advertising just to get the likes. Because when people like, every time you post something, you'll get a notification. It'll show up in your timeline. And then you'll start to see the engagement increase. So if you have, let's say 500, it's called determining the ratio, right? So let's say we've got 10 engagements equal 1 new customer, right? 10 engagements, out of those 10 you get 1 new customer. Let's say that 1 new customer you make $10 off. On average, the books in here are about $10, right? Somewhere around there? All right. 1 new customer equals $10. Let's say your goal is $100. How many engagements do you have to get to make $100 based on that ratio? Who said it? You said it. All right. So I got a selfie stick for you. 1,000 followers is what you need to fill the funnel. So you hook your phone up to that. It opens, you clamp it on, you plug this into your volume jack, and you can start.
Where you find
It's ours.
that? It is?
Yes, it's ours.
You want to trade your pen for the selfie?
Yes. So that it's important to understand your ratio, right? Understand your ratio. Understand your ratio. I'm gonna say it like 5 times. Understand your ratio. Know how many engagements equals an actual customer. You've got to track that. Because if and the ratios are not that simple. I'm gonna tell you that now. This is 10 to 1 is really good. It's usually like 0.1%. All right, so the next one, tip the scales in your favor. You've got to find the right balance between the media, the frequency of the post, and the content. Some people may not read a whole lot, so you may only have a few characters. Some people may just want to see the pictures. A good example is, how many real estate agents are there in here? It's like 5, 10. You want to show pictures of houses. Hey, do you want this house? Come talk to me. That's all you got to say. People are going to love that house if it's a pretty house, right? So you don't need to say a whole lot. And you just need to figure out how many times you post that. But out of all the industry, real estate industry posts the most. Why do you think that is? You got to stay on top of it, but it's the picture. Facebook. 32% higher engagement on Sunday. You think people are in church, but they're on social media.
In church. Yep, in church.
They're doing this in
Saturday. Where do you
church.
think they are on Saturday?
Bed.
Selfies.
Taking selfies at the club, having fun.
To post the next morning.
Yep.
Okay.
And then Thursday, Friday. And then these are the times, 9 a.m., 1 p.m., and 3 p.m. There's something
That's
about
Sunday?
Friday.
Put that down a little bit, can you? That's Sundays?
Thank you,
9 a.m., 1 p.m.,
This is
and 3 p.m.
this is best time all around. Yeah. Now, here's a quick note, all right? People seem to be really, really happy on Fridays for some reason.
Saturday and Sunday, 10%.
So post upbeat and funny content on Fridays, right? So if it's a hot day, post a picture of ice cream. Hey, come cool down with us over at the Tallahassee office Network meeting.
Okay.
All right? All right, we gotta keep moving. So I know this is good, but you can follow with me afterward and I'll get this to you. And sign that email list. I'll email this to you as well.
Okay.
Twitter, Wednesday is the best day. 12, 3, and then the evening. All right? You see there's only one day for Twitter. All right, LinkedIn, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. People are at work. They're building professional connections. LinkedIn is for professional connections. So, yep. There, who said it? All right, I got something for you too. That's good. So she got it right on the head. This is right before work. People are looking. LinkedIn has this thing where they send notifications to people that they're about to meet that day. They send it in the morning, say, hey, you're about to meet with Joseph Ward, do you want to connect with him on LinkedIn? All right, so that's why these times are the way they are. Lunch meetings, hey, you're about to meet such and such for lunch, get to know them better. And then in the evening, people meet in the evening for dinner. So these are all perfect meeting times.
It's also
Coffee,
the middle of the week.
lunch, yep, coffee, lunch, and dinner in the middle of the week. I'll just go over briefly the 3 key points of social media advertising. You gotta understand your objective. What do you want to accomplish with this ad? Do you want to increase web traffic? Do you want to increase likes? Do you want to increase engagements? Event registrations? What do you want to do? For this event, I spent $20, right? $20 and I get that 64,000 people reach, 60 RSVP, 109 interested, and 39 shares. $20, that's the best deal I ever got. Now imagine if I charged $5. I would have got a good money back. You know, I would have made that $20 pricing. That's the next key thing to understand, and then the creative. These are the most important part. Now let me help you understand the structure. This is the overall campaign. Right, so you're launching a book, On the Shoulders, Volume 2, Central America. This is one ad set. In this ad set, you're targeting women. In this ad set, you're targeting men. And then you've got 3 different creatives. So you've got 3 different pictures. The one for women is going to have Central American women, right? We got a Venezuelan, a Colombian, Cuban. Yeah, all right. And then in this ad set, you've got men. You've got same thing, maybe the same countries, but it's photos of men, and the content is catered toward men. So that's how this works. Does that make sense? All right, good. I did good. All right. Next. All right, objective. Promoted post versus a boosted post. A promoted post is originally designed to be an ad by itself, right? That means that it was never seen before, you're coming up with the idea brand new. A boosted post is something that you already posted, but you want to increase it, the visibility of it to a wider audience. So you put a little bit of money behind it. You understand the difference? All right, so a new ad is a promoted post. And then a boosted post is something that you've already posted, but you want to boost the amount of audience that has seen it.
Well, you know, put more money in it.
So, a promoted post is say you just create a new ad campaign. I want to sell my book to Latin Americans, so I'm going to target them. I'm going to put an ad out there. I want to spend $30, right? This one is, hey, I just posted about my new volume, and people are starting to like it. I want to take this and turn it into an ad. It wasn't meant to be an ad, but people are responding to it, and I want to put some money behind this one thing because people are responding to it well. That's a boost.
And you can also boost the what you promoted.
Which is another weird thing. So you can take this, and after it's ended, you might get a notification from, or before it's ended, you might get a notification from Facebook saying, hey, do you want to put a little bit more money behind this to make it go further? So let's say you put $20 behind it, and they say, hey, you'll reach 10,000 people. We say, I want to reach 20, so I'm going to spend $20 more behind it and spend 40. Then you just increase the audience and the reach of that one ad. All right, good. See, somebody learned something. I'm good. All right, next one. Yeah, I get it right. All right, so the objective again is what you want to accomplish with it. Making a sale on your website, getting traffic, whatever the idea is. Facebook gives you tracking pixels. It's a code that you put on your website so they can see that, hey, it worked. It tracks the traffic that they drove to it. Next slide. Targeting. Who is your audience going to be? I want to target people ages 20 to 55 in Canada and the U.S. who only speak English. Joe might want to add Spanish and Portuguese to it, right? Because he want to connect to those audiences for his volume 2 in Central America. Narrow down the demographics. Slide 2. All right, pricing and bidding. How much do you want to spend? It's literally like an auction, right? If you're willing to spend $5, or I'm gonna start small, 50 cents for each person that clicks on the button, then Facebook is going to show ads for people who are willing to spend $5 for each click. You know what I mean?
You can also say that you want to spend $20 total and tell Facebook how
To do
many
it the best
days,
way.
and then they will regulate your $20 and spend just that much each day to encompass, let's say, 5 days.
Yeah.
Or you can just say, I want $5 a day, period, and then then tell them how many days you want to spend $5.
That's right. So you can let them choose. All right, and then the creative is the picture. I put out on the event page some social media image templates. So if you RSVP, look for that post, download it. It's totally free for everybody here, but otherwise it's $55 out of here for a limited time. But you've got some free nuggets in there for some creative that you can use. All right, and these are the correct dimensions for those images. Again, I will email this presentation to everyone that signs up on that list so that you can have these notes. And then limit the characters for the copy. You may only have 65 characters. So you gotta really think about what you're gonna put out. 65 characters is not a whole lot. All right, next one. All right, social media management, work smarter, not harder. Hootsuite is what we use for our clients in order to post on 3 different social media platforms at the same time, totally free.
Yeah.
Hootsuite, write it down.
I
This is
want
very
Hootsuite.
important.
That's my favorite.
I want that.
So you can schedule it months in advance. We took 1 week with Joe, scheduled out a whole month of campaigns in 1 day. 1 day. So this is how you turn 3 hours of social media marketing into a whole month. This is all the resources, right? So we got a webinar, totally free, 5 cost-effective methods to build your brand. Talks about social media on there. When you get this, click on the link, watch it. This is a live webinar with one of my partners from Fresh Touch Publicity. So shout out to TJ for helping me put that together. My social media marketing toolkit, again, is $55. It's available at this on my website at this link, but you all get it for free on the Facebook page. So go ahead and check that out. Get noticed by influencers. This is a link to this kit. It's a workbook, and this is going to help you connect to those people who are going to help increase your followers and engagement on social media. This workbook is $27. And then, of course, you can book me for business coaching and consulting. Again, I thank you all for having me tonight. I had a good time.